What if I told you that the most irresistible men don't even realize it? It's not the money, it's not the jawline, and it's definitely not the cologne. The real magnetic pull of a man lies in the strange, often overlooked traits, the ones science confirms but society ignores. These are the subtle weapons of the stoic, grounded man. And once you master them, women won't just be attracted to you, they'll feel drawn to you without knowing why. Let's begin. 1. The calm presence that dominates the room. Let's start with the one that separates boys from men. You've heard the saying, real power doesn't need to speak. It simply is. And there's no greater display of that than the calm, grounded presence of a man who walks into a room and changes the energy without saying a word. He doesn't demand attention. He commands it, silently. This isn't just personality, it's primal. Research published in the journal Personality and Social Psychology Bulletin shows that women are significantly more drawn to men who stay emotionally steady under pressure. Why? Because the calm man signals something the chaotic man never can: control. In a world filled with noise, overstimulation, and emotional volatility, the man who can remain unshaken becomes a sanctuary. And the feminine is wired to seek sanctuary. But let's go even deeper. Calmness isn't passivity, it's restraint. It says, I feel everything, but I choose what to express. That is the core of Stoic masculinity. You are not a slave to your emotions, you are the master of them. And that mastery doesn't just attract women, it magnetizes them. Imagine this. She's used to men reacting, chasing when she pulls back, getting jealous when she tests him, losing composure when things get tough. But you breathe, you observe, you speak slowly, and in that stillness she senses a man who is rooted, not rattled. Even your body language communicates this calm. Slow, deliberate movements, a relaxed posture, soft yet strong eye contact. All of it says, I'm not here to prove anything. I already know who I am. Here's the secret. Calm presence doesn't scream alpha. It embodies it. You want to be irresistible? Start by mastering your reactions. When she pulls back, you don't panic. When life gets chaotic, you remain steady. When others lose their cool, you keep your edge. This is how women sense deep masculine power, not through what you do, but how you don't react. So the next time you walk into a room, pause for a second, breathe, stand tall, observe before speaking. Let your calmness be louder than the noise around you. Because in a world of chaos, the man who brings peace becomes the most unforgettable man in the room. 2. Slightly asymmetrical facial features. This one breaks every rule you've been told about attractiveness. We live in a world that glorifies perfection, filters, symmetry, airbrushed skin, and movie star features. But what if I told you that what makes you irresistible are the flaws you've been trying to hide? Scientific studies in evolutionary psychology have discovered something fascinating. Slight facial asymmetry, yes, the little uneven quirks in your face, are often seen as more attractive to women. Why? Because perfection feels artificial. But asymmetry, that feels real. And real is magnetic. That small scar above your eyebrow, the slightly crooked smile, that one eye that squints just a bit more than the other. These are the things that make you uniquely you. They tell a story without you having to say a word. And women? They're emotionally wired to love a story. Here's what's happening beneath the surface. The female brain is designed to seek emotional depth, to intuit storylines through body language, voice tone, and yes, even facial features. When she looks at you and sees those tiny imperfections, she doesn't see weakness. She sees experience. She sees a man who has lived, Not one who's polished, but one who's real. And there's something even deeper. Slight asymmetry breaks pattern recognition. Her brain can't predict your face the way it does with a perfectly symmetrical one. That unpredictability, it holds attention, and attention is the foundation of attraction. But here's the tragedy. Most men hate their imperfections. They try to hide them with grooming, filters, or insecurity. What they don't realize is this: your flaws are your fingerprint. They're your silent signature of masculinity. So, what should you do? Stop chasing perfection. Own your features. When you look in the mirror, don't try to fix what makes you human. Instead, stand in it. That scar, that crooked tooth, that ruggedness, these are the very things she remembers when everyone else blurs into sameness. In a sea of polished profiles and fake personas, your asymmetry might just be the most honest, powerful thing about you. And the moment you stop apologizing for it and start wearing it like armor, that's the moment you stop being forgettable and start being irresistible. 3. The way you move. Slow, intentional, stoic movement. It's the language we speak before we ever say a word. Think about the last time you saw a man walk into a room and you felt something shift. He didn't rush, he didn't fidget, he didn't puff his chest, he just moved. Slowly, deliberately, like every inch of his body had purpose. That man, he understands the psychology of motion, and women notice it more than you think. Scientific research out of the University of California proves it. Men who move slowly and with control are perceived as more attractive. Why? Because fast, jerky movements suggest nervousness, but slow, grounded movements radiate power. And this goes deeper than social cues. It's biological. In the wild, predators don't rush, they stalk, they own the space, and the same principle applies to masculine energy. Women subconsciously sense when a man is in control of his body because it suggests he's in control of his life. Here's what this looks like in practice. When you speak, speak slowly. Let your words land. When you walk, walk like you're going somewhere important, even if you're not. When you sit, relax fully. Don't perch like a nervous bird. When you use your hands, do so intentionally, not to fill silence, but to emphasize truth. The Stoic man isn't erratic. He's not performative. He doesn't need to rush because he's not chasing. He's choosing. That energy, that quiet assurance, is irresistible. Women read into everything. They notice how you reach for your drink, how you adjust your jacket, how you shift your posture. They see whether you're composed or scattered, and when they sense composure in every movement, it activates something ancient inside of them. She doesn't think it through logically. She just feels it. This man is safe. This man is strong. And in a world of men who rush to impress, the one who moves slowly with intention stands out without ever trying. 4. A voice that resonates in her chest, not just her ears. Let's talk about your voice. Not just how it sounds, but how it feels. You see, most men are focused on what to say. But here's the truth. Women often forget your words, but they'll remember how your voice made them feel. And science backs this up. A study published in the Journal of Acoustical Society of America found that women are instinctively drawn to voices with low-frequency resonance, not just deep voices, resonant ones. What's the difference? A deep voice comes from your throat. A resonant voice, it comes from your diaphragm. It vibrates. It lingers. It settles in the body, not just the ears. And when a woman hears it, something primal gets triggered. She feels safe. She feels seen. She listens more closely, even if you're speaking about something simple. Here's what's wild. You don't have to be born with a deep voice to master this. You can develop it. It begins with breath. Most men breathe shallow from the chest, but when you breathe deep from your stomach, you unlock vocal depth. You unlock presence. You unlock power. Try this. The next time you're about to speak, pause. Breathe in through your nose. Feel your belly expand. Then let your words flow slowly, with weight behind them. This doesn't just make you sound better, it makes you feel more grounded. And that feeling becomes contagious. But there's more. Tone matters. When you're calm, your voice slows. It deepens. When you're agitated or needy, it rises, faster, higher, weaker. Women can sense this shift instantly. They may not know why, but they'll suddenly feel turned off. Not because of what you said, but because your voice revealed insecurity. The Stoic man speaks less, but says more. Not through clever lines, but through the gravity of his delivery. When he says, "I've got it," she believes him. When he says, "You're safe here," she feels it. That resonance, it becomes emotional glue. And it's not just what you say in person. Your voice leaves echoes in her memory, in voicemails, in late-night conversations. If it's steady, relaxed and rich in tone, it becomes a signature she remembers even when you're not around. Think about it. Have you ever heard a woman say, "There's just something about his voice"? That something isn't luck, it's training, it's presence. It's a man who's mastered breath, pace and tone. So here's your takeaway. Don't just talk, vibrate. Let your voice be felt. Because when your words carry calm intensity, she won't just hear you. She'll feel you long after the conversation ends. 5. The focused ambiguity. Gaze, you've heard it before. Eye contact is powerful. But let's go deeper than cliches. This isn't about just looking someone in the eye. It's about creating psychological tension with your gaze. And I call it focused ambiguity. Here's what it means. When you look at a woman with full presence, without trying to impress her, without trying to hide anything, but also without giving her full emotional access, you create a loop in her brain, a curiosity loop. And that curiosity? That's the engine of attraction. Science proves this. A study from the University of Virginia found that women were more attracted to men whose level of interest was uncertain. It's not because women like games, it's because their brains are wired to crave emotional resolution. The man who's unreadable becomes a mystery, and mysteries demand attention. So what does this look like? You look at her, soft, steady, grounded, no intense staring, no creepy wide eyes, just a relaxed gaze. Hold it for 3 to 4 seconds, then look away, not nervously, just casually, as if your attention naturally flows where it chooses. And then, when the moment returns, you look again, not every second, not eagerly, but intentionally, like a lion watching its environment, aware, in control and selective. This balance between intensity and detachment is what drives her wild. It says, "I see you, but you don't control me." It says, "I'm interested, but I'm not impressed." It says, "I'm here, but I'm not chasing." That's what I mean by focused ambiguity. She feels seen, but she doesn't know what you're thinking. She wants more clarity, but she's not getting it. And in that emotional uncertainty, her attraction deepens. Even your blink rate matters. Men who blink too much seem nervous. Men who don't blink at all seem robotic. But a slow, steady blink pattern. It says composure. It says, "I don't need to rush. I'm not shaken. Now be careful." If you use this gaze too much, it can feel manipulative. If you use it too little, you lose tension. The key is balance. Just enough ambiguity to create interest, but not so much that it feels like a game. So here's your practice. Look into her eyes like you're seeing more than her appearance, like you're reading her soul. Then walk away like you're not afraid of losing her. That's the paradox. That's the magnetism. And that's why the man who speaks less but sees more becomes unforgettable. None of these weird traits require looks, money, or status. They require awareness, discipline, and presence. They require you to become the kind of man who knows that influence is silent and power doesn't have to be loud. So here's your challenge. Embrace the strange, train the subtle, master the invisible. Because in a world chasing validation, the Stoic man becomes the mystery she can't solve and can't forget. If this resonated with you, hit that like button and share it with a brother who needs to hear this. Comment below which trait surprised you the most. And don't forget to subscribe for more content that rewires your mindset from the inside out. This is Behavior Insight, where we don't chase women, we understand them. Until next time, stay grounded, stay powerful, and as always, stay silent and dangerous.